and 2. They stack the line of scrimmage. There's Dom Hill. There he goes. Dom Hill 40. Dom Hill 30. Downhill Dom Hill. Touchdown. 61 yards.
Smoky.com presents the Texas High School Football Show on 365 Sports. Brought to you by Peter Chevrolet.
Medlock, they fake it to him. James Keeper off the left side, breaks the tackle, into the secondary, skips away, and he will score. Touchdown, Duncanville.
Here's David Smoke.
It's week number 8 of the Texas high school football season. Week number 8, 11 regular season weeks, and of course then the playoffs that run all the way into the middle to late part of December. We'll look back at last week's best wins, in my opinion. We'll also, later in the show, look at the elite games of this week, and there's some good ones at every level. Plus, we'll hear from Mart football coach Kevin Hoffman on the cusp of 4 consecutive state titles. And then, of course, the shocking loss to Windthorst, and what an offseason it was. Tragedy hit the city of Mart and how it affected Kevin Hoffman, the city, and also this year's football team. Thanks to Peters Chevrolet. We appreciate Randy Peters, sponsors this show, the Smoky.com Texas High School Football Podcast, each and every week. And Armstrong Sims is behind the scenes, although he's right here in the middle of what we do every single day. I don't know what was the best win, but obviously the great game between Highland Park and Longview. You knew this would be good. 21-16. Highland Park wins it. But those two teams, heck, you never know. You might see them meet again down the road. I want to say something about Rayshawn Sanford, running back at Harker Heights, set a school record, had over 250 yards rushing. That was not the school record, but scored 5 touchdowns in that game in a 57-21 win against Belton. There were thoughts that Rockwall and Tyler Legacy would be a pretty good game. My concern, Legacy can score. They've got the 2 Division I running backs right now. We know about that, and Bryson Donnell and also Jamarian Miller going to Texas Tech and UT. And Joe Willis has done a nice job. But, boy, they give up a lot of points, and I was wondering if they'd get in a shootout with Rockwall, and they did in a way. Rockwall winning 57-28, and they had 50-plus points at halftime. Legacy trying to get to that next level. They're going to have to start playing better on defense. Stephenville. I kind of felt like this is the first time in a while, and I mean a while, like in the last 2 or 3 years, that they could beat La Vega. Don Hyde knows how good they are. Coach Doty's done a great job. They did 35-7, surprised by the stretch of how wide that margin of victory was. Stephenville, no doubt, is for real. In East Texas, Lindale, 28-21, they beat Henderson. Coach Cochran last year, remember, they went to the state championship game trying to find out who they are. They've got the quarterback back and a few others, but they're maybe getting better week in and week out. Here's the one, Academy beating beating the Yeoman of Cameron Yo 32-28. First time ever for Academy to beat Yo. Yo's always run this area a lot of ways, although last year they were down quite a bit. And Rick Rhodes is back as the head coach. They had a lead, but Academy stormed back to win the game. Chris Lancaster, the coach at Academy, building a culture there and doing a great job with it as well. And there was a lot of build-up in taps in the 6-man private game between Vanguard and Live Oak, and it was a one-sided game with Live Oak winning 83-36 in that one. Those are some of the key games, I thought, and there's others, but those are the ones that I wanted to bring up to start today's show. All right, when we come back, Mart football coach Kevin Hoffman almost won 4 in a row. Didn't happen. It has been a really hard year in Mart, Texas. We'll come back and get that from him. This is the Texas High School Football Weekly Podcast. I'm David Smoke. Again, Armstrong Sims, brought to you by Peters Chevrolet. Go to peterscars.com for more information of all of what they have when it comes to their inventory. Back in a moment, Mart's Kevin Hoffman next on Smoky.com presents the Texas High School Football Show.
All roads lead to your largest selection of pre-owned in East Texas. 3306 West Grande in Tyler. It's time for a car buying experience you will enjoy at Peters Auto Sports. Cars from ultimate luxury to affordable economy, trucks from work to play to all-out adventure. Come by 3306 West Grande in Tyler or visit us online at Peters Auto Sports and take advantage of our nationwide delivery. It's all here. Peters Auto Sports in Tyler.
For a limited time, refinance your vehicle and have 90 days with 0 payments. Only at Genco FCU. Refinancing lowers your rate and you pay less for your car. You can't pass on rates as low as 1.75% for 48 months. Apply online today.
Annual percentage rate subject to change without notice. Subject to credit approval, membership eligibility, and loan policies. Go to GencoFCU.org. NCUA Equal Housing Lender.
My money, my future, my credit union. Genco.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be part of the Waco community. We're a small family business here in Central Texas. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important. And unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. And that's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through this difficult time. So if you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. You can schedule online in minutes at idealmri.com or call 833-IDEAL-MRI.
You know, you look at all the great traditions in Texas high school football history, and everyone knows about the history of Mart and all the state championships they've won. Some of the others they didn't, but they got there, including last year with Windthorst. And here they are, rolling again. Kevin Hoffman was assistant coach at Mart under Rusty Nail, and now the head coach and has won 3 state titles. Been to 4, joins us on the high school football podcast. This has been a year when your quarterback, Keyshawn Clater, goes out with a knee injury. Powell steps up, and you haven't really missed much of a beat. How much of a setback did you think that would be, and how well has the team responded to that?
Well, you know, we hate to lose any player, but to lose Keyshawn Clater, he's such a great kid. You know, he's an extraordinary football player, but he's an unbelievable kid. And, you know, we hate to lose him. But, you know, our plan all along was to, you know, share a little bit of time, let Trey play some quarterback along with Keyshawn, let Keyshawn move around different positions. And, you know, we were starting to kind of do that, you know, and then second quarter of the second game, Keyshawn goes down and Trey steps in. So he had plenty of reps. You know, and then Keyshawn's a much more of a running style quarterback, dual threat. You know, Trey can run, but we're probably throwing it more now than we ever have.
How much has it changed how you throw it with what Trey can bring to the table? Obviously, Keyshawn was explosive, and you'd rather still have him there. But has it changed maybe how you throw the ball rather than some of the maybe 1 or 2 things you could always rely on?
Yeah, we if you've seen us play in the past and you've seen us this year, you're going to see some different things. You know, we went through the off season, looked and evaluated everything that we've done. We were so successful, you know, winning 3 straight state championships. And I think myself, I'm probably to blame more than anybody, is we got kind of complacent in what we were doing on offense because it had been so successful and it had worked. So I reached out to a few friends of mine that, you know, that run different types of offenses. And we reached out to a few of them and we made a few changes. And, you know, we're throwing the ball probably more than we ever have, but we were going to do that with Keyshawn. And so, you know, we have, you know, the screen game, quick passing game, sprint out, drop back, you know, throw the ball deep, take our shots. But we're just doing more of it and, you know, just trying to spread the ball around to all of our skilled kids instead of relying on just 1 or 2.
You said you thought maybe you had gotten complacent. You'd been in 4 straight state championship games, which I know is the standard when you're coaching at Mart or playing there. You won 3 of those, almost had a 4th in that heartbreaking loss to Windthorst in December. Losing in a state championship game, you think because you got complacent?
Yeah, I tip my hat to Windthorst, their coaching staff. They did a heck of a job game planning for us, you know, but we made our fair share of mistakes. Mm-hmm. You know, you can't turn the ball over going in at the 1 yard line and, you know, you can't have holding penalties when you're throwing the ball downfield. And, you know, we made some mistakes and then they made a heck of a drive at the end of the game and everything that could go right went right for them. And even after that, when we screwed up a PAT and they missed the extra point, we jumped off sides, gave them a chance to go for two and beat us. But they beat us. They won the game. But it was a wake up call for me and our offensive coaching staff that, hey, let's look around. Let's branch out. Let's look at some other things that we can do to use our speed, our quickness, and things that we can do. And so we reached out and we're doing that now.
Kevin, had you beaten Windthorst, would you be coaching today?
I can't answer that question. I don't know. It's this is my 31st year. I still, love what I do. And, retirement has crossed my mind. Discussed it with my wife, what our future is, not just my future in coaching and Mart High School, but, Jimmy Johnson in his Hall of Fame speech brought up something, quality time left, QTL. How much quality time do I have left? I moved back here a while back to take care of my parents. And I was up in the Metroplex with my wife, and we decided to come back to take care of them. And, both of them have since passed away, but how much quality time do I have left? I don't want to be 70, 75 years old, 65 or whatever, and can't get around. I've already had one total knee replacement, thinking about having another total knee replacement. I want to be able to do things with my wife and my family, outside of football. When that is, I don't know.
I want people to understand this man here, Kevin Hoffman, and what you have seen in your life. Your parents were deaf. They were loving parents, and you mentioned that they have passed away since. You've seen the Billy Gillespie kidney transplant with Erica Downey. Of course, that hits close to home because of your wife, Jerry. And then, of course, we know that it was a very rocky year in Mart, Texas. Losing a game by a point because of an extra point or giving up yardage so someone can go for two to beat you, that's gut-wrenching. But everything you've seen in your life, you've pretty much seen almost all of it, haven't you?
I've been through a lot, growing up in the deaf community. My parents were the best ever. My sister, my brother, they still come to almost every game that we play, and my wife definitely is the rock in our relationship, and she keeps things together, and she's there for me. She does way more for me than I could ever do for her. And then her family also, and the things that's going on with her brother, losing her sister, and we've lost family members to cancer. We've lost family members to tragic accidents. But what don't kill you is only going to make you stronger. So I believe that we're stronger for all the things that we've gone through.
How much does football allow the city to heal a little bit, despite what happened with the shootings in the summer?
Yeah, I mean that was back in April, and it's we still think about it daily. We lost a couple of kids that were really good kids. One's no longer with us, and one's sitting in jail. And I think about those kids almost every day. I wish I could, put my arms around both of them, give them big hugs, and help them in some way. But I can't do that, and it's tough. But football and Friday nights, and what the community and what football means to this town and this school. It just it gives a chance for us to get away from real life and just go play a game, watch a game, and have fun.
Kevin, I'll ask one more question about it, only because, I love you and all the things you represent and what you've done. I've known coaches who have had players get in trouble for things, nothing compared to what you had to deal with, and they take it personally, and sometimes they almost like blame themselves. You haven't done that, have you?
Yeah. I mean, when I first got the text message about what happened, I was pretty devastated. Mm-hmm. I just, what could I have done? Well, what could I have done different when they were in my program? Could I have done something, to maybe get them to choose, to go the right path instead of, taking the wrong path. Everybody is free to make whatever choices in life they want to make, but they're not free from the consequences that come with those choices, good or bad. So, I had people that, reached out to me and I did what I could do when they were in my hands, and they were in my program. Once they leave and, I don't see them anymore, some of those choices, those are the things that they're going to make. I just hope that all kids anywhere, make the right choices and then have positive things in their life.
So let's talk about your football team. And thank you for so much honesty because that's who you are. That's the way you've always been. Aiden Lane, Clydarian Campbell, the Medlock brothers. Like half your team, I think, is filled with the Medlock brothers. When I get the statistics and stuff, and I'm tongue-in-cheek when I say that, and you've got many others. How proud are you with how well they have played this year? And I know that, again, there's other names, but those names in particular?
Yeah, those kids have been a part of this program, since I can remember. This is my 13th year in March. So this senior class, there's 13 kids. Most of them, not all of them, most of them, were started in kindergarten when I started coaching here. So I've seen them grow up, and I've seen them be a part of this school and this community. So these kids love football. And no matter, what day it is, these guys are going to lay it all out there, and they're going to play their guts out for their teammates, for the school, and for the community, and, for the people that came before them.
Armstrong Sims, will you take down just for 1 second the graphic, show a picture of Kevin, but take down his name and show him again. He's got a T-shirt on. M-A-R-T for Mart. What does that stand for?
Shoot. It's football, rich tradition, great people, great community, outstanding school, and outstanding leaders.
It's in the blood, isn't it? It's in the blood when young men are raised inside Mart, Texas.
It's in the blood and it's in the water. So, we typically don't let people, when they come over here, other schools, and we tell them to bring their own water. They can't have any of ours.
You're not even smiling when you say that, because it's true. All right, Conley, Robinson, Gainesville, Crockett, Coppell. You talked about how you came in from Dallas to get back to Mart. You've been along a lot of places in this coaching profession. Did you learn something? Did you always just pick the brain and take whatever you learn and take it with you and vice versa? And how many times do people try to pick your brain?
Well, going back to when I started coaching, Nathan Barrier was a longtime coach at Robinson, and that's where I went to high school and played for him. And then he gave me my first job. So, I picked his brain and asked questions, and I still, talk to him on occasion. And, I can remember being a first-year coach and going to a Friday night game and watching him work and just kind of sitting back and taking everything in stride. And one of the things I remember, we were playing over at Conley, and it was a close game, and it was halftime. and he pulled a whiteboard out, and he went to making some adjustments on that whiteboard at halftime. And came out and we executed all those things and beat them fairly easily in the second half. And I was just amazed at what he could do. And then from there, everywhere I went, I picked the brains of the head coaches and the offensive defensive coordinators. And even, I got on the phone and called people, whether I knew them or not. I called, Joey McGuire when he was at Cedar Hill. He didn't know me from the man on the moon. I called him out of the blue and asked if I could come visit. And he said, sure, come up. And I met with one of his assistant coaches about the spread offense. And, I sat in there with a notepad and a pen, and I told them, I said, I want you to treat me like a first-year junior high coach. And, I'd already been coaching for 12 years, but I wanted to start from scratch, and I wanted to learn the ins and outs of the spread. We've been wing T all my life. So I wanted to, branch out and learn all I could. And then picking the brain of defensive coordinators, like, I'm good friends with Don Hyde at La Vega. He and nobody knows more about defense than Don Hyde. So, I picked his brain for several years on our defense, and we try to run and try to be as good as they are. I've talked to, between calling people out of the blue and going to football clinics and doing all the things, I've done all that stuff. But if you ever quit trying to learn, you might as well quit. And that's the reason that, after we got beat by Windthorst, that I took a long look at what we were doing. I felt like I got complacent. And so I branched out, and then we're doing some things different, and I'm continuing to learn and what we're trying to do on offense this year. People have called me. We've met with coaches. When Coach Nell was here, we met with coaches up in our office, and me and Coach Martin have met with coaches. Some of his friends, some of mine, people that knew, people that just wanted to know about kind of what we do. So, we've done all of it.
Hey, you were a part of that Robinson team, and a heck of a team. And you happened to pick the year that 1983 Dangerfield was maybe the most dominant team of all time. How much do you remember about that game against them?
I remember pretty much the whole game, from going in there and the wind blowing about 50 miles an hour. I remember, the pregame and us running through pregame and the wind blowing the ball everywhere. And our kicker, Mike Andre, we were in pregame and the wind was at our back, and he was kicking. We were over on their side of the field kicking 60 and 65-yard field goals. I remember that. I remember the very first snap that we took. We ran a screen. I got knocked down, and one of their guys, one of the Everetts, reached out and picked me up, and he said, "Get ready for that. You're going to get that all night." And and I remember it was 9-0 at halftime, and Coach Alexander was ripping them a new one because they were only beating us 9-0. And we went in, we were as confident as any team, and we feel like to this day that we're probably the second best team in the state. What that is not much, but and I remember coming out in the second half, we lined up to kick a field goal, had a chance to score, which not many people did.
Yep.
And we had a bad snap, and I picked the ball up, yelled fire, and rolled out. We had a guy open, and I threw it, and I threw it a little bit too. It was with the wind, and I threw it a little bit far, and he dove for it in the back of the end zone and missed it, and that was our chance to score. But I remember a bunch of those things.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, that's 38 years ago, and you remember it like it was yesterday, don't you?
Yeah, because, the old saying is that, you remember losses more than you remember wins. And, that was my senior year. And, we were undefeated and felt like we were pretty good. We just happened to run into what I consider pound for pound the greatest team in Texas high school football.
No question about it. I agree with you as well. Kevin, I appreciate you so much for who you are, what you represent. Good luck this year, and we'll be in touch again. You're as good as it gets, man. I appreciate your time.
Man, I appreciate it, Smoke. Thank you for all you do for Central Texas and Texas high school football, man. Appreciate it.
You too. Kevin Hoffman, Martin, man, just the name, it gives you goosebumps, especially if you've had to play them. And if you're a fan of it, you know what I mean, how good they've been. Come back with more. Thanks to Kevin Hoffman of Mart High School. This is Smokey.com. Present the High School Football Podcast brought to you by Peter Chevrolet.
All roads lead to your largest selection of pre-owned in East Texas. 3306 West Grande in Tyler. It's time for a car buying experience you will enjoy at Peter's Auto Sports. Cars from ultimate luxury to affordable economy. Trucks from work to play to all-out adventure. Come by 3306 West Grande in Tyler or visit us online at Peter's Auto Sports and take advantage of our nationwide delivery. It's all here. Peter's Auto Sports in Tyler.
For a limited time, refinance your vehicle and have 90 days with zero payments. Only at Genco FCU. Refinancing lowers your rate and you pay less for your car. You can't pass on rates as low as 1.75% for 48 months. Apply online today.
Annual percentage rate subject to change without notice. Subject to credit approval, membership eligibility, and loan policies. Go to GencoFCU.org. NCUA Equal Housing Lender.
My money, my future, my credit union. Genco.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be part of the Waco community. We're a small family business here in Central Texas. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important. And unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. And that's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through this difficult time. So if you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. You can schedule online in minutes at idealmri.com or call 833-IDEAL-MRI.
Thanks again to Mart football coach Kevin Hoffman for being a part of the show. Every Thursday at 12 noon Central Time, this will launch on YouTube. I'll put the link up of where you can watch us on Smokey.com, on my Twitter feed at David Smoke, and also I send it to those who are involved in the show every week as well. And then after that, if you don't catch it at 12 at noon on Thursday, you can always grab it again a little bit later on. That's the greatness of being a part of YouTube as well. Again, thanks to Peter Chevrolet and Randy Peters for their sponsorship. And as we do every week at this time, we now look at the games of the week of the elite games, thanks to Pigskin Prep and Jerry Forrest. And here is the list. Remember, the lower number on the right means the better game. And even, how about Live Oak, who just beat Vanguard badly against Coram Deo in a game between two teams? The combined total is number one against number two. Live Oak is a favorite in this game, according to Jerry Forrest and Pigskin Prep. A couple of the other games as well. In 2A, District 7 2A, Windthorst, they won it all last year. They're the ones that upset Mart in the state championship. They've got a really nice football tradition against Munster. That game is an elite game as well. Go down a couple of notches. How about the game between A&M Consolidated and unbeaten Montgomery? Last week, A&M Consolidated went to the Wildcat position to win a game. Their quarterback went out. We'll see what happens the week after as they play unbeaten Montgomery. That's a heck of a game. Idalou and Abernathy a little bit further down. That one coming up in Class 4, Class 3A, District 4. Jim Ned and Wall. Wall's always good. Jim Ned, of course, really good. They're a heavy favorite in this game, almost a 3-touchdown favorite. How about this? Geyer and Allen. And Geyer's a 10-point favorite against Chad Morris and the Allen Eagles. West Orange Stark and Orangefield. West Orange Stark's a 16-point favorite, again, according to the data that Jerry Forrest inputs in his website, Pigskin Prep. But we know that in that game, Orangefield goes into the game with a 5-1 record. Go down a couple of notches. Ryder and Lubbock Cooper. Ryder a slight favorite in that game in Class in District 5A in District 3. Also, Corpus Christi Calallen against a team in Miller that puts up a ton of points, but Calallen still a heavy favorite of 16 points in that one. McCamey and also Wink. There's Austin LBJ. Man, they've really, the last couple, 2 or 3 years, have come right back to be a part of the thick of what's going on in Class 4A. They've had those games against La Vega and others. That game against Fredericksburg, but still LBJ a 3-touchdown favorite. And then Magnolia and West in a game that's a short 4-point swing is what they have right now on Pigskin Prep in that game. One of the other games that's not listed, surprisingly, and Cedar Hill has at times sputtered this year. We know what the Longhorns have. Coach Lynn there. And DeSoto and Claude Mathis, their only loss so far. Well, they did lose to Converse Judson early in the year, but they also lost to Duncanville in District 11, 6A. Cedar Hill, not listed on this list here from Jerry Forrest, but a game of interest in Class 6A and District 11, 6A. Probably decides who's going to be the second-place team behind Duncanville. And Cedar Hill had to come from behind to win that game against Waxahachie last week. So those are the games. The elite games, thanks to Jerry Forrest and Pigskin Prep. Go to pigskinprep.com. Every single high school program, from the independent schools to schools from the private level, whatever, 6-man to 11-man, all the way up to the big boys in Class 6A, he every single week comes up with the elite games, the picks, who's favored, the standings, the regional rankings, the district standings. He's got it all. Jerry Forrest, we appreciate him in Pigskin Prep. We appreciate Peters Chevrolet and always Randy Peters. Go to peterscars.com for more information. Back at it again. Week number 8 of the Texas high school football season coming up. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Once again, thanks to Armstrong Sims. I'm David Smoke. Smokey.com presents the Texas high school football show. Have a great week.